Okay, so press record. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've lost so much money in scams. You wouldn't believe how much I've lost. I don't seem to learn that well. I think I get blinded by euphoria, and
The way is,
it,
bro, even though project, like every project that starts for me, even if they have utility, I always sell after 3x max. I wait for 2x, take my initial, and if I get another 2x, I every time I get like a double, let's say, I always take the initial out. That's the way I do it. And of
well,
course,
that's
if
what.
it's my project, it's a different story because I'm in the friggin' team, right? So,
Yeah.
but otherwise, I don't trust nobody in crypto.
Yeah, well, that's what I usually do, to be honest. And the last few times, because I saw some projects that I was invested in, they really, they increased in price a lot afterwards, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try a new strategy. I'm just going to hold, like, kind of all my bags and not sell. But it's a terrible strategy, to be honest. Like, kind of,
No, you
I'm going to
definitely
go
want to
back
take
to
some
my,
profit.
yeah, I'm
100%,
going to
man.
go back to the gradually selling. Yeah, I think it's a sensible approach,
Mm.
especially when you don't know the team.
Yeah,
Luckily
you
I
know what
know.
happened? Chris saw that $90,000 sale, and he was spooked because usually what happens after a big sale, after a big hype like that, you get a big ass sale. Who gets smart first, right? Then you have
Yeah,
this big dip, and people are like, "Oh, this is my chance." Then you'll always see a little leg up again. And Chris knew this might trigger a sell off, and he just rugged just at the perfect time. He knew these
yeah,
things how it works, and it's always the same. You'll see it. There's a big dump after a nice hype, like 90K one
yeah,
shot, and then people buy that dip a bit. Then of course other smart people, I would say, don't get me wrong, by the way, it's just if you've been in crypto enough, you know how it works, right? And that leg, they see that leg, and another big sell off will happen. After that, everybody will see that, oh, it's going down, and boom, sell off starts,
yeah.
and they're gonna go up to I sorry, back to 5 million if they didn't rug, maybe 3 million even.
Well, I recognized that it was going down myself. I could see that this like hyped pump was not going to sustain, and I was definitely ready to
Mhm.
sell. And then like kind of like I say, like I was waiting for a taxi. The taxi never came, and then it rubbed while I was waiting for the taxi. I was literally going home to sell it. I was like, what the hell? Like, no, I was literally just going
Yeah.
to go and sell that. And I was looking through the transactions, and to be honest with you, some of the buys looked quite dodgy. I traced them back, and they were coming like from the same person. It looked like kind of odd, like buying
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
repeatedly.
He's
So
hyping it
I,
for himself.
it, it was hyping it, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
hyping buying, and yeah, I kind of
I
sensed
miss
it. Like, yeah, sorry, go
a
on.
blockchain secrets. I miss being rug pulled. I wish I stayed in Daewoo long enough
Shut
for a
up.
good for a good old hard rug, just like the good old days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you could have got into that group and bitched about it. Like they've got a D-War rug group, which they set up these groups, but like nothing really happens from it. Sadly, like kind of the have a bit of a bitch and a moan and they post some evidence, what they think is evidence. But nothing ever seems to happen. And like then somebody gets the idea to turn it into an AMA group and thinks, oh, I can make some money off this scam group now. I can turn it into doing AMAs. And
Same old
I've
story, man. It's not the first time.
yeah, I've seen it happen a few times. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they
Well,
they think actually same people rock the same people twice. You know, it happens. Like they go with another Telegram account, create. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't know this. They are still in the team. Actually, they knew it all along. Then they're like, okay, let's create our own group, Devo 2.0, whatever the fuck they start with. And they rock the same people
yeah,
again.
yeah. I'm not entirely convinced that because some of the team members, like the marketing guy, said he didn't know about it. But for me, like kind of, he really sold it. I'm not convinced that he didn't know about it, but that's just my personal opinion. And he set up the kind of the scam group afterwards. But
Yeah,
yeah, I just didn't trust him, to be honest. Like I kind of felt like there's no ulterior
the
motive there.
CMO you're talking about, Viceroy.
Yeah,
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 well, I talked to him personally. He was on my DM, and he kind of, he showed himself to me and stuff. Well, I guess he felt the need to do so. I don't know. Anyway, after talking to him for a while, he showed me his time zone and showed a couple of proofs and IDs, whatever. Then I was like kind of kind of I'm still not 100% sure about him, of course, but I feel like he is the one that get used. But in the end, I told him,
Uh,
bro, no matter what, you promoted it. You don't, as a CMO, you never go on any AMA and tell people, buy this. It's gonna make you rich. This is not how you promote it. Of course, it's gonna make you look like you're the one who did the scam. I don't know. I
yeah.
still don't know. I just like he showed me a couple things. I mean, he's either he's a really good actor, but he seemed really fucking sad about it and stuff like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, they obviously use quite a few advisors as well. That I definitely think they weren't aware of it, like marketing advisors that were hyping it up. So I do feel sorry for them because it's pretty early in their careers. From what I can gather, they're not established like kind of marketing people. So for them, it's like give a bad taste of what they can do early on. And I
Mm-hmm.
suppose how they react to it is it's a positive thing if they do something positive from it. But it's not a good start to them. And yeah, that's what makes me think the team were experienced because they knew exactly what to do. Like the developer, they assumed orchestrated it. They employed all the right people because it's a very
Yeah,
big
there's at
team.
least 4 people in it, I would say, involved in it. So they
Yeah.
are
Well,
yeah.
one of the first teams I worked with, they were serial. I didn't know at the time, but it was about like a year and a half ago, and they were a serial rug team, and they never shared it with me until they rugged whilst I was working on the project, and they never told me about it. And then the dev DM me saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry. It wasn't my decision. It was voted for by someone else in the team." And they then went on to create many other projects afterwards. And I only found out on Twitter, the rug does Earn Hub. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, of course.
They did Earn Hub. They took $1 million. Well, it was close to a million.
Same
And
story.
prior to
Earn
that,
Hub, Safe Earn. I think Safe Earn and Chris is the same group of people anyway. It's the same people rugging.
well, I think it's similar people because it just sounded very similar on one of the AMAs, and I was thinking, God, it definitely could be him. And he has a very expensive lifestyle, the guy that did the Safe Phone rug.
Mm-hmm.
So he constantly, he's constantly buying designer gear, and I know from speaking to him, he has a very lavish lifestyle, so he can burn through money like there's no tomorrow. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're doing it again, and they're a very clever team. They know exactly what to do. Once you've done
Yeah.
quite a few projects, you know how it works. You know what works and what doesn't. But anyway, we won't talk about them too much. I'm recording the call now, so we'll
Yes, yes.
just jump into an AMA. So I'm Robotics.
Sounds good, man.
I'm the founder at Blockchain Secrets. I used to be the head of marketing at Whalecoin Talk, and I've worked on quite a few different projects, supporting them. I've worked with projects like Hodge Finance and other ones as well. Hundreds of projects in my role at Whalecoin Talk. And I'm also the head of marketing at MetaDoge, which is going through a bit of a dip time. It is a meme token, obviously very different to this. And today we've got an AMA with Blockblend. They offer cross-chain transactions, farming, and escrow service. The project is set around a 3.7 million market cap. And I must say that I love the brand and website. I'm an investor myself, and so are many people in the community. The team have been delivering constantly, especially development-wise, and we're about to hear more about that soon. I'm going to be recording the AMA today, and we'll publish it on YouTube. In subsequent AMAs, we're going to stream it on YouTube, not the one today. And also, I'm going to place it in the Telegram channel as well, just in a recording format. So the AMA will be a conversation between me and the team, and there'll be opportunities for questions at the end. So today, I believe we've got Osman from AKA Anonymous Man from Blockblend. So first of all, could you introduce yourself and tell me about your experience and background?
Yeah, I've been in crypto for about 2 years, and I work with various projects. But this is I would say, first actual utility project other than the couple NFT projects I work with. and I was not in core team with the previous projects. I was near just admin, not I wasn't in the decision making, but I kind of get the idea that I could just hop in the team for a DeFi because I was really interested in privacy and security when it comes to blockchains. And then I met Cosmic through the guys that I worked with the other projects, of course, as an admin. And then of course our ideas just were collaborating, so they invited me in the core team. So since then I've been giving ideas in the team. I'm involved in the decision making for the development, for website, sometimes UI. I do testing. I do many things. I can't name like I'm doing
Mm.
one thing only, but I'm involved in marketing too. uh, I'm actually right now looking to hire a marketing guy specifically. Not that we can't find people ourselves, but if you work with a company, it's just easier to push it simultaneously and
Mm.
in a right way, if you like. So I'm looking for that right now, for example. Yeah, but like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
do many things with the project. I do AMAs, of course. I enjoy it. I enjoy giving this knowledge to people, and promoting, not promoting, if you like, just just uh, just showing the project and what the project does and the future goals of the project, so people that promotes itself, if you like. So that's
Mm.
basically my stance with this project at the moment. And
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I can relate to that, like kind of, doing all different aspects of a project. You do end up doing, communications, marketing, testing, system testing. I'm actually a developer as well. I'm a full stack developer, so I get involved with everything, like kind of, and that's the best way to be. You can learn things, pick up things, very,
Definitely.
easily in crypto. Yeah.
Definitely.
And so there's you, and what about the rest of the team? So who are the
For rest
developers?
of, yeah, for developers, we have a main developer, Cosmic. He usually works along the API and the applications. um, and I'm happy with that, because usually when one person deals with something, it's usually less bugs, and he knows every step of the code, right? So he gets to fix, if anything, right, till it's
Mm,
perfect and flawlessly working. That's the way I like it when it comes to developing an application. If it's not in a really big scale that needs different aspects needs to be done for the application,
mm.
and then it's a different story. But he himself, it took 6 months for him almost, since we started the project, for him to
Wow.
develop. Yeah, developed a cross-chain anonymous mixer, and right after that we launched, and it's been 6 weeks now. He started with the development of the anonymous swap, which I'll mention throughout the AMA. um,
Sure.
and hopefully, he still didn't give me an exact launch date for the application, but we are expecting in 2 to 3 weeks. We're gonna, of course, plan an plan a hype around it, alongside with our cross-chain utility anonymous bridge,
Mm-hmm.
to do the right marketing this time, to get right investors, not just get the hype, but
Mm.
get the hype around right investors. Like, even we get some, if you like, cheats in the project, it's fine, as long as we get like 30% true investors who can understand the utility and the future with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just that, since the success, right, like growth, organic growth is what we aim for, and we have already a strong community. They are
Mm.
knowledgeable in the field. Like Investor was here; he can speak later on. He probably will anyway if he's here, and he knows really good. He's also a programmer himself, and these
Mm.
people are key investors for us, and they already know the possibilities that can occur in the future with this project. So they stick around and they help as much as they can. So this is really, for me specifically, word of mouth is the most, I would say, strongest marketing, of course, because then you actually get the people who stay in the project, not just because they want
Mm.
to support. They also make passive income through. throughout the project, because our project is really scalable and sustainable throughout our applications. Yeah. All the fees being collected is going 50% of the fees collected going back to farming pools. So as long as people bought the token and stake their tokens, they can just make passive income throughout the fees collected. So we are bringing foreign currency in the application throughout the application to value the token holders. So they are not just holding the tokens to waiting for the market cap to sell back, but they are actually okay holding it because they are making passive income, even though it goes up and down. They're happy waiting because they're still making daily nice returns. I mean, realistic returns. We never promise unrealistic APIs, and it's always there, and people get to harvest their tokens that's being rewarded to them in a daily basis. Actually, any time of the day, it's a live data, and after 5 minutes, you can still get your rewards harvested, for example. So yeah, I mean, the project is basically about sustainability for me, and when it comes to token holders, I mean, we are not looking just push type of marketing to bring in people to get the market cap high and there's going to be a dump and stuff. We just want diligent investors. If that sound right.
Yeah, so we've kind of digressed a bit there. That we've gone into the farming, etc., which we will talk about more later. We just can talk about the team still. So the team, do you actually know each other? Have you met each other in real life, or how do you communicate?
So yeah, we have like meetings weekly, right? And I mean, I heard all of them, I would say, but I didn't see the developer yet on a video call or something. But I interacted with him throughout 8 months. I mean, he has his specific reasons for it. Whether I like it or not, it's reasonable.
So the developer's anonymous. You don't know who the developer is.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes. I know where he's from, which he doesn't want me to tell, of course. But like, I know specific things about him that I feel comfortable promoting this project, if you like. I worked with him with another project too, and he never left people behind or did anything sketchy, if you like. Like, just the actions speak for me. He's been just trustworthy for me. Like, I never personally promote anything or be in a team that I don't feel comfortable trusting. I asked him a couple times, like video chat, and he the reasons he gave me, it's actually reasonable. I understand. Apart from that, I never, on any AMA I go to, I basically tell people why it makes sense to, of course, do your own research, but it makes sense to, invest in a project like this, and why you should feel secure investing in it in a way, if you were to invest. That I can explain, of course, but then I'm being totally transparent with my interactions with the team. Apart from that, I saw others, I would say, and they are working well with me, and they don't mind, showing themselves to me and all that. But they don't want to, like myself, I don't want to also put myself out there for specific reasons. Again, we are a serious project. We don't want in the future, if we hit like 100 million or so, and our utility actually being adapted, being used in a daily basis. Of course, the regulation is going to catch up to us. We want to stay decentralized, and to achieve that, actually, yeah. Honestly, for a project like this, you kind of have to, if you take it seriously. By the way, that was one of the red flags. As soon as I saw Chris, blah blah, all this team talking about, KYCs and all that, I knew they weren't that serious about the project, because there's no way a project to that extent can stay boxed and not fail, if you like. I mean, look at a tornado, how much now regulations they have to deal with. They are kind of slowly becoming centralized, if not centralized already.
It was something I thought about as well with DWAL. I thought, it's quite unusual that there's a KYC, and there's all this like kind of what appears to be, fake transparency. It did seem that way. It felt fabricated because it didn't really fit in line with what they were trying to achieve. And yeah, I think you're quite right, and it was definitely a red flag, something that I chose to ignore, sadly.
Yeah, that's just
But
one of them. Like, yeah, it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
people, man. It's normal. I get it. I get the feels. I've been there. It's just after getting 40K lost in rug pools and stupid investments, I don't care about making money. I care more about not losing it, right?
I think that's definitely the attitude that I would usually have. Yeah, for sure. I'm just
Yeah.
curious, like, kind of who owns the wallet in, who
Hmm.
owns the marketing wallet? Is there
Definitely.
any multi signatures, or do you not even do that?
So Cosmic owns the funds, of course. He's a developer. But whenever I ask for marketing money, or actually like Roger here, he can ask anytime. He's always telling us, anytime you need marketing money, let me know. And he tries
Hmm.
his best not to, dump or anything like that when we need marketing funds, which we didn't do any because we didn't want to affect the price in any way. Uh, we wanted, but in the end we need to sell some to get some. But yeah, in the end, and whenever we ask for marketing funds and we want to push market, we don't even, actually he doesn't even ask us what are we doing.
Okay.
Sometimes he just trusts us about it, I mean, because of our past with the
Yeah.
marketing and all that. So he just sends us the funds necessary for it. And apart
Do
from
you
that, I
think
don't
that
own.
if do you think if there was, say, as you go and develop, I assume there's
Mhm.
money generated from taxes. Well, I know there is. What if there was $1 million, or maybe even like some of the tokens that are worth millions of dollars? Do you think it would be better to have some kind of security around that, like a multi-signature wallet, or is that something
Absolutely.
just not a
I don't
concern?
mind that at all. Absolutely. I mean, a million, absolutely. No, I would say even after 500K, it's reasonable. For me, the main reason we are not like into right now getting that kind of exposure with the project to get more whales in, if you like. Of course, when big people come in the project, that's what they want to see. They want to be secure with their investment, and totally get that, right? And to do that for us, we need to absolutely make sure if we're gonna renounce anything or put it in a secure fund basis, like you mentioned, we need to know that everything works flawlessly before we can renounce anything. I don't mind at all renouncing the application, so we can't
Mm.
interact with it in any way. But like I said, we are in a stage that we want to see at least, let's say, 500K to $1 million daily
Mm.
um, volume going through the application, and see that's flawless, no bad feedbacks, and no complaints basically that we need to fix around the application, or we need to make it better,
Mm.
anything like UI wise, API wise, our PCs needs to work flawlessly, like all these terms anyway. So yeah, like we got to make sure the application is going to be uh, good on itself before we renounce it. And you got my point, right? Because otherwise
Sure.
we can't just do it at this point of the development.
Oh
And
yeah, I don't see any point. Yeah, at
yeah,
all.
yeah, it's gonna kill itself if
Yeah.
there's a mistake, you know
No,
then we
yeah.
can't fix it. Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't think there's any point in that. I know it's obviously it's interesting because it's anonymous, and and then obviously you want to bring some kind of maybe some regulation in the background just to ensure, for $1 million is quite tempting to anyone.
definitely,
There's,
I get it.
especially if they're going through a bad time in their life, you don't really know. All it takes is one
Yeah,
individual
yeah, I
just
don't,
to
honestly, in crypto, I don't trust nobody. I just would say believe enough. I don't know. I have future, I mean, past interactions with people. If I didn't know
mm,
them personally in real life, I can't say I fully trust anybody. But I definitely know that, like, I would personally want that happen for the
mm-hmm,
project to if you want to be successful and serious about this, like you said, 500K, whatever. let's say million is a lot actually. For me, it's 500K and so on.
Mm.
In a marketing wallet for me, then I would want actually some regulation around it for sure. For
Yeah.
mainly for other investors to see that we are not
Mm.
fucking around, and
Great.
we want them to see that as well.
Yeah, and I get that impression as well from you and the team that you are thinking about the community and all your actions. So I'm sure that
Definitely,
you'll find a way to involve them in that and make it work
definitely.
in a good way. So could you talk about like the vision and talk about why you're doing this?
Okay, let me just really quickly go through the what Blockblend is and what cross-chain
Sure.
mixer. So our project, emphasis is to protect everyone's privacy, of course, and encourage a safe crypto ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
It's common knowledge that our transactions on the blockchain are public information, right? People can see them. Anybody can, check them with people with available tools can even dissect your trading habits. It is an intrusion into your privacy in this, ever expanding crypto space. It is important to stay safe and stay protected. So that's the core of Blockblend. I would say the idea behind it and why we are coming out with the applications we are coming about. So it's mainly Blockblend is a cross-chain anonymous privacy transaction utility. It's ready to intermingle and mix your tokens with the liquidity pool that application has. It will enable you to move your funds from a sending wallet to a destination wallet without any links to each other. Unlike Tornado Cash, I would say, if any, unlike any other competitor, we implemented, a feature that allows you to. We will actually implement it soon. That application will send to a couple wallets at the same time instead of just one. You get to choose more than one wallet, which will make it absolutely untraceable on the blockchain. And you don't need to connect your wallet. This is a key feature because we have our own
Mm-hmm.
utility. Liquidity. You don't need to connect your wallet. You can choose a custom amount. And how about I just actually go on the website and show stuff as I talk about if people are new here.
Sure.
Let me just share screen on the website. Screen one. Everybody sees the screen here? Good.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, Blockblend. So, so we have an application already that we launched it as soon as the project launched. Like we didn't promise anybody uh, our investors that we're gonna come up with it like Devo did, right? Oh, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. No, we didn't create any fake hype. We told we are gonna have it from day one, and we did. Once we have the application, uh, it was 4 blockchains. We added 2 more after 2 weeks. Every week we added Chronos and Phantom in 2 weeks or so. We asked this to people in the community to decide. They wanted because Chronos was being hyped and Phantom as well at the time. So they decided these 2 blockchains, and we added liquidity in those pools. And now you get to exchange between these blockchains anonymously, either cross-chain or in the same blockchain. The way it works, I'll simply explain the logic. Let's say we're going through Polygon, right? BSC to Polygon,
Mm-hmm.
right? You'll have an wallet address, of course, for the Polygon, because now you're sending from BSC to Polygon. Let's say this is a Polygon wallet address. I copy paste that there, right? I want to receive Polygon, and I'm sending Binance Smart Chain. Then I can choose, of course, any amount.
Yeah.
But if I choose custom here, it's gonna give me. Wait a second. What the hell? Let's go into the Ethereum again. Just give me a sec. Copy paste. So now it's right. So it was thinking it was Ethereum. I guess it's about my cookies or something. But yeah, so I choose BSC. If I choose any of these amounts, it's gonna want me to connect my wallet address. But otherwise, I can choose custom. and say next,
Mhm.
in which case the application generates a new wallet for you to send your funds in 11 minutes, unless, of course, if you want to make sure your tokens are absolutely untraceable, even 10 minutes is enough. But if you choose a longer amount, it's gonna, of course, keep your funds in the application and mix them, if you like, blend them for a longer time, which will make it even more anonymous. If there's low volume in the application, right now we have a lot of volume around BSC, but if there's lower volume, you want to go for maybe 30 minutes. If you're not in a hurry, it's better to go for a longer time. And we implemented a referral code. Since I'm here, I'll mention that. And we're gonna actually
Mhm.
give you guys one at the end of the AMA.
Awesome.
If Roger is here, he's gonna talk about that hopefully. So you can write it here, and you get 30% off from the fees collected through the application. And you can, of course, decide how much the referrer wants to get and how much the discount the person using the referral code gets, right? Uh, so once you implement it there, it's going to cut 30% off total from the fees. And user secret is for the people. Again, this is not the simple mode, advanced mode. If you're using it like, I would say, once a week or something, you don't really need that. But for this one, if you're using it like every day, kind of, we have, of course, hundreds of treasury wallets already in the application, waiting for you with the funds to just execute the transaction. But if you're using it on a daily basis, there is that slight little chance when it's being randomized, it chooses the same wallet that you sent your funds from, right? When I generated this, right? This is the address I'm sending my funds to, right? At the moment. Let's say you're using it every day. There is a slight, really small chance, 0.001% or something, but it still can go to this address, which in this case, you'll get your same tokens that you sent back to you, right? And to prevent that, we created user secrets. So once you use the application, you can write anything here. Let's say okay, and every time you use this user secret for yourself uh, from the same wallet, it'll detect that you're using the same wallet to mix your tokens, and it's gonna make it sure that it doesn't go to a wallet that it already went previously. If that makes sense, it's kind of complicated, but yeah, it's only good if you're using it in a daily basis. So like I said, you press next, the generated wallet, you send your up to 50 BNB to minimum 0.1. This is important because application doesn't execute the transaction. We're going to try to make this user interface more clear. If you like, when you
Mm.
press, actually, we're going to make a warning pop-up just to show this side of the story. Because sometimes people want to send 0.05 or something, in which case application doesn't execute the transaction. And we can't even reach this. By the way, without this, team cannot even check any transaction. We have no
Okay.
entry to see any transaction happening in the application without this code. This code is only presented to the person who is doing the transaction. But they are like, I sent 0.05 BNB and this is my recovery key. We can't use the recovery key because this transaction never happened, because it didn't get executed. So we cannot, application doesn't see this anymore, if that makes sense.
Mm.
That's why we're going to make sure, because it's a custom amount now, it's not related to wallet connection. So we cannot interfere with how much you're sending to this wallet. We can only tell you you have to send this much, right? So only thing we will
Okay.
do to improve this, we're going to make sure there's a pop-up window that you definitely saw, you can't
Mm.
miss. And if you still did send 0.05, uh, don't blame us, if that makes sense, because we can't interfere with it. You're sending it to your wallet, custom, right?
Yeah, I
Without a
get
wallet
it. Yeah.
connection. So yeah, it's
I
basically
suppose.
how it works. Yeah.
Why is the limit 50 BNB then? Is that because of the LP you've got there, or?
Yes, that's the main reason for now. Also, we are mainly promoting this for a regular user, right? If it's a scammer, it's gonna rock at least 300, 500 BNB, and they are not gonna come here to try 30, 40 BNB each time. They can. I mean, in the end, they can. We cannot, of course, prevent that. But in the end, we aim this application for regular users. We do plan, if we reach, let's say, 20, maybe more million market cap, and we have enough development funds, we can add to the application's liquidity to
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
increase this amount, right? If you like. But till
So,
then,
does
mhm,
it need liquidity on every chain, and like kind of, are you holding
yes,
liquidity there on all of them? Yeah.
yes. Yes. So we have six
Ah, yeah.
chains. Each of them has liquidity. Each of them has hundreds of wallets and specific amount of liquidity in there. I mean, tokens in there, coins in there. And once,
Mm,
yeah, as long as, so there is absolutely no problem using the application. You can use it like hundreds of times, BSC to BSC. We'll have no
mm,
problem with liquidity wise because it's coming from the same liquidity pool going into the same liquidity pool, if you like. But if you're keep sending BSC to Ethereum, uh, application of course detects and kind of balances out
mm.
the liquidity. But if you're doing it really fast, it might take longer than 10 minutes, right? If you send a lot of Ethereum to BSC or vice versa, and you chose 10 minutes, and like I said, let's say you send 10 Ethereum 4 or 5 times, 10 times fast,
Mm-hmm.
and then application needs to wait either for some funds from other people sending Ethereum. So Ethereum now has some liquidity, right? Apart from the
Mm.
existing liquidity in there to execute the transaction. So it might take a little longer, right? Up
Ah,
to
yeah.
we experienced this a couple times when we had like these spikes, and of course it took 1 hour sometimes when they chose 10 minutes. But not more than that ever. But apart from the cross-chain transactions, there is absolutely zero issue for same chain anonymous transactions. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm being completely. We're trying to fix everything, but as long as like Tornado Cash, by the way, is basically same logic, right? As long as they are not having other transactions happening in the and the contract doesn't get other transaction to send to other people, you will have to wait long amount. But because they have a
Yeah.
really high utility usage rate, they don't have that issue at the moment, of course. So it all comes down to how much utility being used. But in the end, we never got a feedback that nobody received their tokens. Maximum wait times for only Ethereum to BSC transaction. I got DMs or feedback for 1 hour when people sent and didn't receive in the 10 minutes that they predefined. But it only
Yeah.
happened,
But
like I said, on those peaks.
I suppose that's going to improve in time, though, isn't it?
Definitely,
Um. So yeah, I guess you're just refining it, and if you have more liquidity as well, I guess that'd help.
definitely.
And
We plan in the end to put $1 million in here, and then if I was talking about renouncing the application and stuff, then we get serious. I mean, for me, even the whales sending like 1 million in the liquidity, people being, of course, if we get there, I mean, we have quite a bit right now already. I would say around 400K. But if we have 1 million, I don't think we're gonna hit these issues at all, because at that point we have enough liquidity. Besides, if application being used by various users from various blockchains sending each other tokens this way, liquidity will be always there, if that makes sense. Like some
yeah,
people want to exchange from Ethereum to BSC, others from BSC to Ethereum. That's going to even out. And apart from that, already application detects if there's low liquidity, it already transacts from the higher liquidity to itself to another blockchain liquidity. So it
yeah,
happens,
that makes sense.
but yeah, so it might just take time, up to 1 hour, from my experience with the
Yeah,
application
yeah,
and
yeah,
the way it works. So that's our
yeah.
main
No,
main utility.
yeah, it looks awesome. I love like the the user interface and the little chart which everyone likes looking at the usage. You can see that BSC is like dominating, but I think that's going to change in time as we progress forward. And this is, you mentioned the referral system. I think Roger's going to explain that. And there's also a white label as well, isn't there?
Sorry, what? I didn't get that.
There's also a white label.
Yes, sorry.
The,
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
API.
White
Yeah.
label is actually really crucial. Thanks for mentioning. It's really important that we actually want more people to use it. Like we can't have all the marketing funds to put it out there like Tornado did. I mean, they exploded. They got so much funds that they get to use it really quite well. Well, if it happens for us, we are happy to do that to no problems. But we want every project out there who likes this kind of utility and they want to promote it with their own project. We offer them white label, and that is that if they just pay 6 to 12 PMB right now, I actually can show that. Mm, So they can even have this. So Blockblend white label, they just want API, which means that we provide them the backend application API, and they get to, if they have developers, they can do it the way they want. They can create the UI for their own website, change the colors, whatever they want. But they get to use that application on their website, right? So they of course there's a charge of 12 PMB for this. If they want us to create the user interface for them as well, and this is for minting referral code as well. If they want just a referral code, anybody can come here, create a referral code, and they can of course adjust the discount that they want to have for themselves and the party using their referral code. For example, YouTubers and all that, we offer them, and we're going to give you one too, this referral code that they can promote for application usage, and they get to collect fees throughout the application, and they get to claim it anytime they want by connecting the wallet to the platform. Apart from that, like I said,
Roughly how much are the fees? Like, I know you mentioned like the percentages you get for the referral, but how much are the fees for using this?
how much the fee for using the
For
white label
using
utility?
well, no, sorry, you mentioned that, but if I was to have like use the API on my website, or I had a
Yes.
project who was using it, what would the user pay in fees?
So for your project, we make it cheaper than the Blockblend itself for your users only. Uh, the way, of course, the reason we do that, so your people in your project stay in your project and use the application there, and you make money throughout the application, because we don't mind that at all. In the end, we are still making money through the application's usage on your website already. It's just less than what we make if they come up to our platform, of course, but we don't mind that. Of course, you already bought the API, and as long as it's being used by more people with more projects, uh, we are still making money throughout the application's usage on your platform.
Is there any kind of criteria of what you're looking for in a project, or
Yeah,
for
definitely.
instance, like as an example, what if Decentral World came and asked you to use it, or another project, like kind of is there some kind of criteria you've got in there that you follow?
Well,
Is there a need for a KYC, for example?
definitely. I mean, no KYC. We don't do KYC. In the end, we sell them the application. Uh, we can't ask them to KYC with us while we don't promote it itself for us ourselves. But the way it will work, you said Devo, if Devo were to come to us and ask for it, we would already know they're 100% Rug project, 100% at that point. Why? Because they're promoting the same utility, and they're asking for white label. That's like retarded impossible that they are not a Rug project.
What if they asked you before they started, like what would be the criteria for you to establish that they're a decent project? Would it just be subjective, or?
Well, when projects come to us, we check their utility usually. We check what they're up to. And if we see fit, if it makes sense to us, that they are well, structured team, we talk to them. Most of these people we we get through AMAs. Actually, they are project owners which already exist, and they want to add to their utility. So we kind of have trust on that because they've been around. I look at their charts and their community and all that. We don't just give it to, of course, people before launch, and we do if we see fit. But it's for Roger. Actually, Roger does most of that. He checks the project. He looks at the people, talks to them, and I do AMAs with them alongside with Roger. It takes 2 hours for us to accept the collaboration, if you like, and go forward with it. But apart from that, people come up to us asking for the utility. We definitely ask them questions about their project and what they achieved to do. We ask them, can you just present us like a template of the website, at least if you don't have it, if they didn't launch it. In the end, we need to help them establish it on their website anyway. So we usually get access to the website to put the API and the user interface for them on their project. So yeah, usually we already have up, I guess, 3 right now collaboration, and it's taking place soon on their website, coming online in a week. All of them, I think. So yeah, I mean, from here onwards, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, kind of, say that, for example, I know recently, what if a project did scam and, somebody asked you for, information on the
Honestly, that
system
was
or
one of
like
the reason. Yes, I get your question. That's one of the reason Cosmic.
what if there was like kind of also, what if there was fraudulent transactions going through the system?
They are not related to us in the end.
Yeah. What if the FBI contacted you or something? How would you approach that?
We don't approach FBI in any way. We don't want to be involved in any kind of authority. We want to stay decentralized as the project goes.
If they approach you, not if you approach them.
Well, of course, but how are they going to approach us not knowing who we are?
Well, if for instance, everything's improving with like the regulation, with the FBI, the police, they've recruited, there's 15 vacancies at the moment for, cyber security related to crypto. So it's not long before like places like this, on Tornado Cash, whatever, they're bound to get like kind of inquiries that come to the door, and there's people going to be speaking to them. How are you going to handle that?
Well, the thing is, we're following the regulations and we're careful with the words we choose for our utility. It's called an anonymous bridge. It's not called a mixer. It's not called those any sketchy words, right? If people wants to use a bridge and be anonymous, outcome of this cross-chain bridge, they use our utility. We're not like really, you're not using those words that will catch. It's not like illegal. Anything we do right now here is still regulationary okay. And of course, we chose the words carefully. Everything that we are going forward is actually okay with the regulations that is in place right now. So they won't actually, with current laws in US and Canada, I would say, as far as I'm concerned, with where I'm living and all that, it's no problem right now, our services. Like there's a zero problem with anybody coming up to us about this. But if there's a rug happen with any other project, we of course don't associate with them in a way that our name is on their utility, unless we 100% almost know and trust the team. Then, and if they're okay and they want to have powered by Blockblend kind of watermark on their website, we don't mind that. But apart from that, we don't really associate. It's like they are using it like their own, right?
I think it's probably the best way to distance from it.
Yes, we're trying to be careful with what we do here, because we really want to grow with this project. And like I said, I like knowing we are already so much better than Tornado Cash with the application
is that
we
your main
provide.
competitor then? Like, is there any other competitors, and how is your product different?
Well, like I would say at the moment, I don't know what else other than Tornado Cash. I would say there's no other actual, like we are first, and I would say, well, I'm gonna say the best, alongside being the first application who came with the idea, right?
Mhm.
There's no cross-chain anonymous bridge out there other than us right now, who can execute this type of transaction, which also
Awesome.
provide their own liquidity pool to do so. There's none. So this is the only platform that exists so far in the crypto space, and they don't have like this custom amount. You have to connect your wallet with Tornado Cash. In order to send, you have to choose these amounts, and once that happens, it creates a code, for example, right? Then you
Mhm.
need to keep that code uh, to be able to use it again when you receive your tokens. To
Sure.
reconnect, you need to still reconnect and use that code to be able to withdraw your funds anonymously. Just speaking of Tornado here, and with our utility, we just disregarded that. And if people don't want to even associate with any platform connecting their wallets, they don't need to,
Mm.
so they can just send it, without any connection to the wallet.
Ah.
So that's
Yeah.
one thing. And of course, our fees are lower. I guess they're charging about 2%. We are charging 0.5 to 1%, right? So that's
Correct.
another
Yeah.
thing with our application. And as long as you do everything right, there's absolutely, I'll claim this, no problems executing any kind of transaction so far. But again, going forward, if anything,
Mhm.
we fix it in a matter of days. Uh, well,
Yeah.
if there's a big issue anyway, I don't see any yet. Hopefully, there is none. But in the end, we can still access in sort of way to you know ex, ex, expert this excel in the application, that we are
Mm.
comfortable in the end renouncing it and not being able to touch it. Maybe in the future we can get like a certic audit for all this stuff. We don't mind, but we need the funds to be able to do any of that, of course. And that is still, we are still developing on this. We are adding new utility to the
Mm.
platform, and we're gonna go slow after anonymous swap a bit, because we don't want to spend all the money on development, right? It's already enough. These some projects come up with one utility, not even as close as useful, or I said expensive to develop, like cross-chain anonymous bridge, but then they promote it in a way that they reach better market caps. So we're gonna do this after the second application. Our developer wanted to push the applications first before we push the marketing. Um,
I
in
agree.
an
That's a good strategy.
yeah. So let's see if his ideas. I respect him the way he does work developing wise, but in the end, we definitely need to push the utility via marketing to get actual success with the project, right? So that's what we're
Yeah.
aiming to do.
I did notice that at one point you were advertising for a blockchain developer. Was that, did
Yes,
anything progress with that, or did you decide to put it in the
yes,
back
we
burner?
have. Well, it was mainly for UI, user interface. It was simple. We looked if he wanted to see that if he can work together with another person to make things faster. But then I suggested that we only need people to work on the website, which is cheap to hire, right? And they
Yeah.
don't need to know anything about the application, right? Because I don't want to honestly get involved with another developer, have access to this type of stuff. I want to trust only
Hmm.
one and keep it at that, if you like, personally anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
and plus, of course, alongside with that, it's like I mentioned in the beginning, it's actually less problems when you deal with one developer. He knows what he's doing. He knows what, if there's a mistake, or he will remember, oh, that's probably why, because I put this code there, or I did this connection wrong, or proxy, whatever the hell he did wrong. He'll be able
Mm.
to fix it faster than asking each other and collaborating on a code. It's just harder to work on a code when it's more than one developer or more than one person. on an application, especially, I find it takes longer to bring it about, but it's less headache once it's out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they've also got to be a similar skill level as well, and obviously be able to communicate together in their own language, so it can be quite
Yes.
difficult, I think, to work with someone else. So yeah, there's good and bad points to it. So yeah, you've kind of touched upon the various farming pools. Do you want to just explain more about, which ones they are, and because I know there's 3 different pools at the moment, isn't there?
3 different pools for farming.
Yeah, well, there's an LP pool,
Okay, sorry,
and
I
then
just didn't understand. Yeah, so because we're talking about pools, liquidity pools and stuff, right? So we
sorry,
have
yeah, yeah,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all good, no worries. So we have Ethereum. I'm at the moment on Ethereum blockchain. Um, so this is for Ethereum side of, we have 4.3 million BBL locked. It's 90 days. We launched on Ethereum, since we are talking about that, about 2 weeks ago, after a month of. It was unfortunate that we had a successful launch, no problems, but crypto come down crashing so hard right when we launched. It wasn't the best result that we expected out of it, but it's okay. We'll push that again, and of course there's arbitrage opportunities still exist with that.
Yeah, there's
People
also
can,
quite a low number of tokens on the ETH side, isn't there?
yes. So we have 100 million tokens total, not to be minted, anything not being minted or burned. So total supply is 100 million. This supply here comes from the BSC side. So right now BSC has 95.7 million tokens out there. So as long as people buy from Ethereum side, uh, BNB side being locked. I mean, if you like, being transferred almost to the Ethereum. So our supply doesn't increase or decrease. So it's good. Whatever blockchain you're farming or investing in, we are still having the same supply amount, regardless of the price difference. So it is good for if you get some Ethereum investors who wants to use Ethereum and stay on Ethereum blockchain. It's good for the project either way, because we have a fixed supply. This 4 million is only because, like I said, we don't have an initial new supply. It's coming from the BSC side again. So we
Yeah,
still have
I think
100
it'll
million
be
total. Mhm.
yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to get more, liquidity and supply on the ETH side, uh,
Definitely.
just to make it more appealing towards Ethereum investors that are often investing larger amounts of money.
Yes,
And I think that's the
absolutely.
same
I
with the liquidity on the bridge as well. I think having higher liquidity will help because, I know like Chinese investors I know, if they were to use that kind of functionality, they'd likely put a lot more than the 50 BNB you have there or whatever the equivalent is in ETH, just because it's worth more, like the Ethereum, there's 7 times more volume there. So I think improving that is obviously going to be a part of your agenda.
Yes, definitely. No, I 100% agree. I didn't add the BSC on my MetaMask yet, but anyway, I'm just gonna mention that we have. So when you switch, of course, the the Ethereum to BSC, then you will be able to see the other farms here as well. We have 3 more farms. I don't have any other wallet right now to show, but yeah, we have 3 more farms, guys. If you were to go and connect your BSC wallet, you'll be able to see. By the way, I mentioned this to the developer. He's gonna fix this soon. Even though you don't connect your wallet, you should be able to see total value locked here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Past farms and everything. But if you want to see them, you need to connect your wallet. You're not seeing anything on the Ethereum side, and I'm on the uh, past farms right now, but because there's no Ethereum farms that already timed out, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, if you switch the network, you'll be able to see them. We're gonna add this without the wallet connection, so people who come here, not connecting any wallet here, they'll still get to see all the farms, total value locked, and all that information. I even suggested we add it on the website somewhere here. I don't know, but they need to see maybe here or any, I don't know. Anyway, they are gonna decide that because we have 75% total value locked. That shows the trust in the project already, right? We're 7 weeks old. We only have 25% of the tokens that are in the circulation, if you like, that
Wow.
that that could be
Amazing.
bought. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. That shows that people who invest in the project and still are holders, they are all stake their tokens knowing that this utility are providing them a passive income, and they know they don't mind. There's a 90-day pool. Most of tokens are locked there, 3 months.
Yeah.
They
I'm
get to,
in
of
that
course,
pool.
yes, with that, there you go. That's a good one. I'm in that one too, heavily. 3 months, it's giving a good APR, and you get to, of course, withdraw your funds anytime if you want to before the 90-day period ends, but there's a 15% penalty for that. We are not saying you can't. It's not like you can't withdraw them. Of course, you can still if you wanted to. It's just 15% penalty. Apart from that, you get to use the harvest button to collect your rewards on a daily basis. It's a live data. You get to see them increasing. Even matter of seconds, you'll have BBL collecting in that harvest pool. Uh, we mentioned about the pools. We have also a 30-day pool still. I guess another 30 days left on that. Uh, APR is getting higher on that because people are moving to the 90-day one right now. You're being rewarded in BBL for both of these pools. When it comes to the last one, BNB, BBL pair, what you do, you just go on PancakeSwap, click on liquidity, and provide BBL BNB liquidity pair to the pool, and PancakeSwap creates, of course, BBL LP tokens. Then
Yeah.
you use these tokens to stake on our platform. You click on stake once you receive tokens from the PancakeSwap router, and you stake those tokens to the platform. In which that right now you're getting the best API out of, because most people, either don't have BNB, that they want to put on hold, or they don't want to risk it. I mean, to me, it's not that risky. I put 35 BNB in there, and I already got probably in a month 30 out or something, 28, something like that already. I mean, not out, it's still there, but I mean, if I wanted to get it out, I can, because I'm getting more if I hold more, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so I
So
mean, I already got in a month what I invested, so it's really profitable. But of course, people do their own research, and they see the APR. They want to do what they want to do. They can ask any questions regarding the farms application and what is incoming. They can come on our Telegram. They can ask admins. The community. I don't even really go in community to answer a lot. I see the questions, but before I say anything, most of the time a community member answers the question.
sure.
So this is great for admins to focus on development and pushing the project out there when we have a community being engaged to this extent with the project, if you like.
Yeah. I think like with the LP farming, there's a slight risk of permanent loss, isn't there? But I think at the moment, because like the volume's not really there, it's not really moving much. The risk
Yeah,
is very low.
yeah. That's why mainly, of course, you take your own risk with that, but I don't see that high of a risk. Like you said, like the volume is being low. I invested right away, knowing that uh, you know I'll be recovering everything I already invested in a month, which I did.
Yeah.
So I was right on that. I usually, of course, do my own research like everybody does, even with my own project that I am involved in. I'm staked fully too, but in the end, I want to make money too, right? Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, I was right about that, and I think still it's not bad. But in the end, people should know what a liquidity pool is. There are YouTube videos, and if they were to come and ask in main chat, we can call we can even do some informative AMA in our group if people were to ask, and touch these subjects, and they get to
Mm.
learn about these things, right? And I'm actually getting involved with other projects that are doing blockchain education that we might be collaborating about. They get to use our utility if they wanted to, maybe on their platform, and they get
Sure.
to teach their audience what what's cross-chain anonymous transactions and how it works, escrow utility services, and they get to have more material to teach their audience, as well as our people get to go there. If
Mm.
they are new to the crypto space, they can just go, and they are having weekly AMAs every day, sorry, every week.
Mm-hmm.
They get to enjoy that kind of education platform, get to ask on an AMA anything that's being presented. So yeah, I'm happy to push this knowledge out there and uh, educate more people about the security of the blockchain, how it works, why you need to stay anonymous, and all that. Since
Sure.
I touched that subject, let's just elaborate on that a bit, just for like a minute. Like regulations are really catching up with people's uh,
Mm.
identity right now in crypto space. Crypto was essentially, built, of course, as far as I'm concerned,
Of
for
course.
kind of freedom for people's money, right? In the end, if we can't really transact anonymously, and everything is known by the authorities. I know it sounds sketchy when I talk like that, but I mean, I'm not happy, honestly, personally, that everything I do with my money, government needs to get involved in that. Like, okay, you pay your taxes on your gains, whatever. You're a good citizen. I appreciate that. Don't mind that at all. But they don't need to know everything I spend on, which kind of creates a bad um, air out there for, of course,
Mm.
the people with the bad intentions. But you know what, man? Cash being used for that anyway, for human trafficking. It was gold
Of course.
before. Cash is just made easy, maybe through crypto. Yes, I agree. But then they can up their standards to follow up with this kind of people. Not like drug trafficking, human trafficking will end, uh, or 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 exceed in an extent that is uncontrollable through crypto, if they were to regulate it, because it's been happening since
Mm.
humans existing in the earth. This was there, and people are abusing it in a way, one way or another. Crypto is just another way that they find, I would say,
Oh, of
to
course it is.
execute
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So I
I was
mean,
speaking to a guy the other day, and he has loads of diamonds. It's just another way of storing money. He's an old guy, and he's like, he's pulled out this huge diamond out around his house. It's like, yeah, like this is how he stores his money, and it's just exactly like people storing it in crypto.
yeah,
And I can understand, obviously governments, you can see governments are regulating everywhere. In the UK, America, they've all got plans, and they're all implementing their own versions of cryptocurrencies, regulated ones.
yeah,
So it'd be
yeah,
interesting to see how they interact and how it's all going to join in the future. But I think there'll have to be some cooperation between regulated and non-regulated. But I think there's going to be such a demand and appetite, especially amongst younger people, for non-regulated assets. Like they're like really into crypto right now. And NFTs. So I can see that, in the future, there's going to be a big push for, the need for non-regulation rather than regulation that we have the push for now.
definitely. Do no, 100% agree with that. Is like, I mean, look at, like, for example, EU just pushed a bill regulating the non-custodian wallets too. Like, you have a trust wallet, you still have your KYC, and they want to have it in Europe right now, slowly implementing actually. I mean, people want to stay anonymous in Europe. Like, let's say they need to use kind of utility like we do, they still need to use VPN and stuff like
Mm,
that to stay anonymous in the blockchain. Even with the hot wallets right now, they can't. Um, they can't
mm,
stay anonymous soon with the regulations happening, right? And the problem with that is that, like, if these wallets are attached to your identity, in the end, you
mm,
don't know what will happen could happen. A war can occur, like it happened with Russia and Ukraine, right? Many Russian actually hot wallets got like blocked through Binance and all that, right? Um,
Mm.
their assets got frozen. You know, it could happen to anyone anytime. You just don't know what could happen in
Yeah.
crypto. And regulations wise, you just want to stay protected. And the way you do it right now, the only way you do it is through Blockblend and type of applications that offer this kind of anonymity in the blockchain. You want to use it at least once before you do any kind of important transaction for yourself, I would say. Um, Whales love this kind of utility and use it every day. That's why Tornado
Mm.
Cash has such a good volume. It's for rich people
Yeah.
mostly, but even daily users of crypto, even if they're not like don't have so much assets in them, they definitely want to start using it at least once to get that clear wallet from all these shackles of your past interactions with all the platforms you ever interacted with, which will probably connect to the KYC platform if you got your funds from whatever exchange, right, which is centralized
Mm.
exchange. And in the end, they know who you are. So it's definitely useful for even a daily user, and that's actually what we're promoting for people, daily users to use it mainly too right now, right? This is called anonymous bridge for a reason. People can use it as a bridge. Just, I need some Ethereum. I don't want to go through an exchange. They can do that if they have some crypto already
Mm.
in their wallet. And doing so, they also become anonymous, which is an added utility uh, that will benefit them in the long run 100%.
Mm. Yeah, I completely agree. In like high inflation countries where where the constantly of price of goods going up, people want to store the money in cryptocurrency, and they don't want to be monitored by the government either, for various reasons. Like it's like you say, having your funds blocked if you want to leave. If you live in the Middle East and you wanted to leave the country and set up somewhere new, and migrate outwards, it literally could save your life having cryptocurrency. Because if the government's constantly monitoring your funds, they have the ability to seize your funds. And if they see that Bitcoin or whatever's going up in price, whatever asset it is, and the government's doing very badly, they're going to want to seize assets to boost their economy. And it could be, you can see regulation could be used in a very bad way with cryptocurrency. And I definitely think that this is something that's going to help that journey. It may involve more than it is now, into something completely different to what we're seeing, but I think it's the beginning of something very, very good and something that's needed as well. Um,
Definitely.
so I know we've talked a bit long, but there is an escrow service mentioned on the website. Is that on the back burner for now, or?
Yes, it's gonna be after the anonymous swap, hopefully. Uh, I can't say a date on that, but it's not a priority. We're gonna push after anonymous swap. We plan to market it, at least get this two utility white labeled. By the way, every utility we come up with, it's gonna be white labeled also. So not just our main utility anonymous cross chain bridge. You get to also
Mm.
have white label for anonymous swap as well as escrow service. Um, and if you look at our roadmap, of course, we plan to go ahead with a wallet, which is you know what, I'm not even gonna mention that right now, because for me, I like to mention what we want to achieve in a short period of time
Sure.
right now.
Yeah, that makes
So like,
sense.
as yeah, because I'm not the guy to hype you. Oh, look at this wallet, it's gonna be amazing, bro. Let's get some funds. Let's close to that block, third
Mm.
block here, right? We have what, 4K members right now. Then we can talk about this, and I love to explain it once we start developing that. We didn't even start developing it, so I don't want to hype nobody about that right now. So what we're gonna come up with is anonymous swap. It's gonna be, I don't know why he didn't add it here. Still, I told him. Uh, it's gonna be basically you get to use your tokens. For example, you have Shiba. I gave the same example over again, but it's the first thing comes to my mind. You have Ethereum, for example, blockchain token, Shiba. You want to sell this anonymously. You will be able to through anonymous swap. Doing what? Let's say you have Shiba tokens. You want to get BNB. Boom. You sell that, and it's anonymous on the blockchain. Don't ask me
There's
how
going to
you'll
be a
do it.
delay
I
with
still
that
don't know
transaction
exactly.
because, yeah, oh yeah,
What's
sorry, I
up?
won't go into it then. I was going to
Yeah, you
say,
were
is there going to
pointing
be a
it.
delay? You know, if I'm
Oh,
trying to sell
yeah.
Shiba Inu and it's going down in price dramatically, I want to sell it there and then. Is there going to be a delay with it?
Yes. I guess that, yes, of course. I don't know how long there should be a delay, because to make it anonymous, it doesn't happen like in a second. Of course, there it goes through processes, and it still goes through PancakeSwap in the end. So you're paying for the PancakeSwap. So these fees are being added and shown to you, approximate
Yeah.
fees, how much you're gonna pay in the end, and you're gonna probably break down, this fee that much, like Uniswap, BSC, chain, blockchain, transfer, blah, blah, blah. In the end, you'll have this the breakdown of the fees, how much you're going to pay, of course, you're going to accept, and you're going to execute the transaction afterwards. But the utility with this is actually amazing. If I don't want to go so deep into that, I still didn't talk to the
Sure.
developer in depth about how exactly it's going to work, how much capability it will have in the blockchain to do many other things that I talked about before, but I'll just mention what it can do without knowing 100% yet. Again, telling. So if
Sure.
I was wrong about something, don't tell me afterwards that you said something, but it's not like that. But basically, what we talk about, these are the points we made. Whales will be able to, for example, sell without their wallet connection. Like, say, if you have Shiba, you're one of the Shiba investors. You have a big wallet, and everybody like looking up to you, be like, if this wallet doesn't sell, I don't want to sell, blah blah blah. I mean, they'll still be able to figure out if you some lose some funds. I mean, in the end, of course, nobody's stupid there, but in the end, you'll be able to be anonymous. They won't be able to know if you send these funds somewhere or sold it, right? You can sell small amounts as a whale, whatever.
Okay.
Your wallet information won't be out there, right? This is actually amazing when you think about it. We were thinking that we can even market this to other projects, so they get to sell from their marketing wallets without even people knowing. I mean, it sounds bad again, but most people, I know, some people actually in their project, like we are one of them, to be honest with you. We don't want to dump or even sell anything. Or Cosmic is always, well, I don't want people to see that I sell from marketing wall. I'm like, fuck, how are we gonna do marketing now? We need to sell in the end. That's the way it works around crypto. But like, say, if we were of course I'm telling this to you, but with the projects we collaborate, uh, they can only have this aspect of the project in the background without having the utility on their website. So not necessarily people that has to know they sell anything from the marketing wallet. I think they'll like this kind of aspect of this project and add it to their platform. If they're a successful project, they don't really want probably people to know that they're selling from marketing wallet, not because it's insidious uh, reasons, but that way you'll disregard that FUD that you need to deal with and focus on marketing, if you like. So these
Sure.
are the points we are aiming for now. If you want to market it as a white label, these are the key points that I'm looking for as a decision maker, if you like. Um, Apart from that, like I said, for a regular user, they can come up to our platform, or people who white labeled this, they can go to their platform, just like for the cross-chain anonymous bridge. They can white label it and they use it. People use it. People stay anonymous with every transaction they do, even with their tokens, buying, selling, and they get to actually bridge it even the same way they would bridge with the blockchain mixer. I mean, the anonymous bridge we have. So it's just an added utility in there. I would say, and if anything, I have more hype personally around the anonymous bridge than the cross-chain utility. We have That's me personally, because for me, I used this guy once, and from there on, well, I'm not that rich, right? I guess that's why. But I use it once with, let's say, I have what, 45 BNB, or what, like, if I collect everything now, I probably have around 150 BNB. I used it once with, of course, cheaper fees that we have between team that gives us 50% off or something, as far as I remember when I used it. But yeah, apart from that, now I have the wallet. Nobody knows whatever I do now, right? Because they don't
Awesome.
know my. Yeah, so basically, I used it once. Regular users, everybody should use it at least once. From there on, I think they're safe as far as I'm concerned, unless they go back to Exchange and had to do
Mm.
KYC, which is going to be linked again to your identity. But this is absolutely a necessity for anybody to use, even for any regular investor or crypto user to use it at least once for their security for future transactions. But yeah, in the end, anonymous swap is going to kind of do the same kind of uh, it's the same kind of use case. It's just different, maybe even more encompassing for the crypto, that you get to use it more in more field crypto.
Yeah, it may be good if you can maybe link it to, somewhere where a user gets actual real life products or physical assets, if you could connect it to some kind of shopping platform, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
where users could, like, where they don't want to be tracked, then they could purchase things. It's almost sounding a bit like the dark web then now. I don't know. It's
No, no,
yeah,
yeah,
but
for sure.
yeah, but I'm sure there's a demand for that. Maybe with drugs. I don't know of any products, not necessarily drugs, but that's just one example.
Oh yeah,
That
100%. I said
there's
human
definitely
trafficking. It's happening as we speak, so it's not a lie.
there's a
Yeah,
demand for anonymous transactions. But that's obviously something that's maybe slightly negative. But I'm sure there's stuff where just even food people might want in a country where they're being monitored somewhere, like kind of by the government or whatever. It
yes.
could be used for a positive thing. But food's a basic, people basically need. And if it's a way for them to purchase online somehow, but that'd be something to think about maybe. I know you've shared plans that you're thinking of marketing in China. You mentioned a Chinese influencer, and I have discussed with you and Roger about Chinese,
Yes.
advice. Is that still the plan? You mentioned Turkish markets as well.
Yeah,
Do
we
you?
already put that couple of YouTube videos on Turkish platforms, and we're gonna, I guess, come up with another two. Uh, this is this is just mainly I want slowly. We're still growing slowly, but I want a bigger marketing. And when you talk about bigger marketing, everybody thinks about China, of course. We had a bad experience with this one Chinese marketer. Turned out to not deliver, of course. Like I said, you just it doesn't matter how good you are. Sometimes you don't know the language and the culture, then you sometimes get along, you know, across to bad people. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
mean
sure.
we're still planning to do the Chinese marketing, and it's actually one of the idea behind the hiring a marketer right now. I'm working with marketer rather than just we trying to find people. We just want to get somebody who already have these connections and they can prove us they can bring this value with this marketing plan roadmap that they can provide. And we're gonna put that kind of hype around the new utilities launch
Mm-hmm.
and see where we can go from there. We definitely want to push it simultaneously this time. We want people to hear about us at least before we trend, and at least once we trend, people heard about us from various
Mm-hmm.
platforms. We'll take a look. As long as that's my main purpose. As long as they take a look, they'll invest. They will, because there's no way that a person can disregard this utility if they understand what we stand for, what we're coming about. As long as
Sure.
they get to our Telegram, ask what we are about. For me, it's an investor, most likely.
Yeah, and I think around that point, maybe you could increase your tax for marketing. Like I assume you have a transaction tax for marketing, do you? Or is it just the wallet?
You mean the buy and sells transactions? What do you mean?
Yeah, because I
Buy
mean,
and
marketing's expensive,
Yeah,
and
yes.
uh,
I mean, we even plan that if community wants to get involved in the future, we can even talk about that because actually some community members offered it. They want to be involved with the marketing. They don't mind like engaging, with even the tokens they have, which we really appreciate and love to see that kind of community. But it's
hmm,
just we do, of course, like if we didn't put so much effort in development, we already would have pushed more marketing with the main utility. But like I've been trying to say, it wasn't the main emphasis on the project. We deliver
Mm.
first and we do the marketing, instead of we do the marketing before delivering with this project. So I think it'll be successful because of the way we believed and designed the project. As long as the right marketing is done, I know the hype is usually around launches,
Mm-hmm.
but of course, we main reason I'm waiting for a utility, because people will want to see something new, because before they put their money. I'm talking about the new people especially.
Yeah.
Like as far as the new ones I'm concerned with, like yes, they will maybe invest more, but for me, I want to gain more new investors, because as long as we have more people, that means more people will shill, if you like, the project. I don't like the word shell,
Mm.
but as long as well, they put the project out there, people come in the Telegram, ask about it. It's
Sure.
worth their while to know about it, because we are not like many other project on DeFi. We actually offer something that is sustainable, that makes sense to invest. So let's
Sure.
see.
Well, you definitely got some good chillers anyway in your group. I can see that people are engaged, and I sense that the community is pretty strong. Like they've grown close together, and the people that are there, they seem to be like the long-term holders that believe in the vision now. Obviously, you'll get a lot more investors when the chart's going well and things are pumping. Some people are just waiting on the sidelines at the moment. Uh, and I think it's one thing. People invest when it's green, don't they?
Yes,
And
yes,
a lot of people just watch and wait around or switch off
absolutely,
completely.
absolutely. No
uh,
matter how
you
much I
know,
talk here, explain how this is really good, whatever, as long as people don't see buys back to back, they won't jump in the project. Most people right now, maybe even in the group, we have maybe over 300 people new, but they're still waiting the hype before they invest. Instead of rather investing in the utility and just waiting for the hype, they will wait for the hype before investing. This is unfortunately the reality with crypto in most spaces, especially with BSC. Uh,
hmm
it is what it is. It is in the end for me, as long as people know, even though they didn't invest yet, if they know the utility and get to mention it to their friends, maybe their friends this time will be actually diligent enough to check the utility and be like, wow, I want to promote this. That's the type
yeah,
of
yeah.
people we want. Of course, everybody is welcome, but in the end, these are the people that's going to make this project successful, because that's how I believe in success. Word of mouth is the most important marketing for me, um, apart from the hype, because hype will die. No matter what, it will die.
Yeah, gaining access to those people, it can be quite challenging as well. A lot of those people are in private groups, and
Yes.
also on different blockchains as well. I think like kind of if you focused on other blockchains, then you may have chance more access to people like that. Different, BSC can be often hype related, as you mentioned. There is some good
Yes.
utility projects, but they're often like on their own blockchain or on different blockchains. Big utility tokens. So um, yeah, I mean, there is people here, like especially newcomers as well. Like people have been around in the space a while in BSC. It's quite a gambling place. A lot of hype projects. But it doesn't mean, like you say, those investors can be useful. And
Hmm.
they may even change the way they behave if you educate them. That it doesn't mean just
Definitely.
because they're used
100%.
to that behavior. It doesn't mean they're going to stay the same way. Some people may choose to stick for you long term. They hear more about it, believe in the vision. Sometimes you invest in that many short term projects, you're just used to the project being an incredibly short life cycle. Like a few months seems like a long time in BSC, but it's just changing that mindset that there is long term projects there. You can invest and watch your money grow over a period of time slowly. It's just changing the attitude and educating a bit into that way of investing. And obviously, in a bear market, it's good to invest in utility tokens. Right now, because the likelihood here is that as soon as we go into a bullish market, these are the tokens that are really going to do well. Like kind of the will gain much more traction. It is going to gain much more usage. So it's going to be, I'm confident, a good future.
Definitely, man. I believe it. That's why I am around almost all the time, because I really actually believe this project will have its time to rise. It's just sometimes with this kind of quality, it takes time for people to see. Even after marketing, I do believe we'll gain some kind of volume that's healthy. That's what I aim for. If you can sit around 8 or 10 million market cap, I'll be happy with that. More than happy with that. We can work around that. We can actually deliver faster with that, and even push more marketing to get more niches out of crypto. Yeah, anything is possible. I mean, with this project, I mean, anything under 100 million, if you ask me, is an insult to the utility we provided out there. Of course, but it doesn't come if you just wait and hope people will see it. We need to present it. We need to make people understand, educate them to come and become an investor. And I would say up to 100 million, any investor coming in our project will, not because of the market cap only, but passive income wise, utilities usage will rise at that point, I believe. I don't know when it'll happen. I expect, my humble opinion, it will be a year from now. If of course there is no crazy hype, it's crypto. You can go up to 100 million in a day, after all. But I'm not aiming for that with this project. I'm aiming for personally organic growth with people. Every time they come in and invest, people market cap goes high. Some leave, obviously, having their profits out, whatever. But I want this diligent investor base to stay, so we can work with them to grow to more niches out there. That's the point I've been trying to make. I'm happy with the current progress. To be honest with you, we've been sitting around 4 million, uh, like for what, 2 weeks now. That shows the dedication with the people already invested in, and of course they know the potential, and they don't just want to wait there. They're making already money. Like, they're already making passive income through this. It's not that they're just waiting with their bags out there, right? So yeah. Yeah, well, let's see what happens. Since I'm here, I mentioned the escrow service, which is going to be probably next couple months. But in the end, this is going to be third party, right? We're gonna act like the middleman in here. People it's mainly we're gonna mainly market this for the people who had a project, like project owners, if you like. They wanna spend money on a marketing agency, for example. They put their money. Our platform holds their money, locks it, and then the other party delivers, and they say I deliver it, for example, at their end. Then the button comes online that they can release these tokens that they sent to the marketing agency, right? And we can even use this, we were thinking, as OTC transactions between people. So let's say you have 2 Ethereum, you can post it for the market price. Our application will decide, of course, with the live data from an exchange or something. We'll have the live data for the exchange. They'll have 2 Ethereum, and other people, they'll be asking for example, BNB in return, and they'll get to do it without going to any exchange or using our anonymous swap. Instead of, they can just get it from another person, and of course this escrow service will be also anonymous. So the person sending the funds won't know the recipient's address, and the recipient will vice versa. Nobody knows each other's wallets, but they'll receive tokens from each other. This is another way that we are thinking to go with the escrow service, apart from just projects using it to secure funds for each other. And there's a lot of possibilities. We were even thinking about having this, people like tech companies who are willing to pay in crypto. We can go ahead and talk to them. They are people working there, for example. They can have this. Of course, at this point, it's going to be a white label. They're going to use it like their own. But in the end,
Mm,
they can design it in such way that the people's money for a year salary locked in the pool there, and
mm.
uh, got, and it's already there to be dispersed every in a weekly basis. So they don't need to actually even go ahead and send the funds. It's going to be all automatic through the platform. For example, these are just possibilities, by the way. I'm not saying we're going to implement any of these uh, yet, of course, but one thing is for sure about the escrow utility that we will do when it comes alive is just a project owners and the marketers. That's the main usage that we aim for. But like it says, there's endless possibilities that we can think about this. And I mentioned just two apart from the first one.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I can imagine that being used in lots of different, use cases. I get asked to use escrow service actually from people that try and buy stuff from me. But
Yeah,
I've never used one to be honest. But a few people have asked me, especially if it's expensive. Usually, if it's something like that costs like 10 grand or something, then they they do want that kind of service. But yeah, the only thing is that sometimes they could dispute that I personally didn't deliver it. So I'm always a bit reluctant, like, 'cause I think, well, if they dispute it, then it's difficult for me to definitely prove it. With some of the services, there isn't essentially a receipt, etc. So it's quite difficult for me to prove that. I know it's me, but like kind of it can be difficult. Like you can send screenshots, etc. But in terms of how far you can go with that, it's quite difficult. Yeah, but I think it's a good product. It would definitely be used. But yeah, there could be one or two difficulties there.
definitely, man. There's a lot of things that we can come about with this. It's just a matter of time and, of course, development funds. As long as we get more volume, we're gonna deliver. That I promise with everybody here or any AMA I go uh, talk about that. We've been the anime. I don't need to promise. You can or don't trust me. Go in the community, ask anybody. Anybody in the team, in the community chat, they'll be able to tell you what we've been doing, and they'll actually tell like they know as much as me, if you like, at this
Sure.
point. Yeah, so because people that are investing, like I said, once they invest and stay in the project for a week, they hear about each other, they hear from each other about the project, all these services, all the possibilities, and so on, what we delivered, and all that. So, like I said, as long as they come and they are always welcome to our group and come and see what we've been doing, they'll be able to see the possibilities ahead with this project. And let's see what happens after marketing. I really, really hope, and for rational reasons, that we'll have a good extra thousand at least investors, which will from there maybe even a snowball effect. Word of mouth is
Mm,
strong, and people start investing from there on, and then we can, of course, what I want with this platform is the utilities usage rather than, of course, investors are important for
mm,
the development as well. But in the end, if the utility is being used, we are making foreign currency coming in that we can use for development as well. We can spare this money
mm-hmm.
uh, for marketing as well. So if utility is being used, we don't need to touch the marketing funds. We don't need to sell from the marketing
Sure.
wallet. You know, so there's a lot of possibility. Like I said, as long as utility is being used, anything is possible. That's why I like to push the utility rather than the buy the token. Buying token is good for investors if they
Mm-hmm.
see that utility will provide for them and understand how this platform is sustainable to invest and make passive income. So people who wants passive income actually should look into this project before
Mm,
they invest. and it is actually aimed for this type of people rather than, oh, let me invest, sell at 20 million, make money. And this is not bad. I'm glad people make money through Blockblend this way as well. I don't mind at all. But in the end, uh, you know passive people who are aiming for passive income, because that's
Yeah.
my incentive in this. I've been mining, for example, for 2 years now. Ethereum, I love passive income. I love anything that offers passive income, and this project got me hooked from day one. That I implemented some ideas in it too, and it's just beautifully growing so far. So let's see. I can't wait for the marketing push and see what happens after.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited too, and I'll definitely help you in any way I can with advice in regards to marketing,
I do
etc.
appreciate it, and we'll definitely stay in touch with you about that for sure.
Sure. So it's getting quite late for me because I'm
Definitely.
actually based in Asia. It's nearly 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 hours. I totally get that, man.
Yeah. I've pretty much asked a lot of the questions that
Yeah,
were
we
on
already
Twitter.
mentioned everything. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any questions they want to ask before we wrap it up?
All right.
Hey guys,
Hi.
hi. So I have one question.
Yep.
Sure.
Um, we've seen on the video that when you want to send the funds, it takes from 10. You can choose between 10 and 30 minutes, right?
Yeah. 10:30. There's more actually, not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
10:30.
yeah.
But
Are you
there's a
thinking
day
about
too.
making it possible that like I put funds in it and I don't know, in 3 days I decide to put it out, and all that time it would be like tornading around,
Yeah.
and
That's
when I
the
decide
that's
to pull it out, I can just like take it
well.
out.
It, as long as you choose the amount, I don't know, right? I guess it's up to 1 day right now. Or
Uh-huh.
let me just go back to the platform and tell you that. Uh, it's custom amount. Let me just choose that. When you choose custom, even if you choose any of the other options anyway, it's the same story there. Same amount of time you get to choose. So I see here that when you choose advanced, of course, in the simple mode, it's always 10 minutes, but you can go up to 24 hours right now. Up to 3 days, why not? We can add that. Or we can, I guess, add a delay. Oh, yeah, actually, Cosmic mentioned that to me. He said we can't add the custom amount. If we want to add, it needs to be implemented into application. So you
Oh,
can't
I
just say
see.
like second wise 30 seconds, or I mean 10 minutes or 11 minutes or 30 seconds. It's not the case, because I guess it's mainly an issue with many transaction coming in. Application need to have like specific time to execute
Okay.
each one. Like there's, for example, there are wallets for 10 minutes transactions. If you like, I can put it that way. 30 minutes transaction, 1 hour, 6 hour, 12 hour, 24 hour right now. Up to 24 hour, the application is able to execute transactions, but we can add it for longer. I think up to 3 days. There's absolutely no problem with that, I think, if I mention that. But I mean, it's really rare people want to do that anyway. They want
Yeah, that's
they
true.
want their
This sounds like a good use for the escrow service. Once that's live, you could simply set it up with yourself, your the sending wallet as one party, and then your concealed
yeah,
wallet as the second party in an escrow agreement with yourself. And then
yes,
at that point, it would be triggerable you know, by your own
definitely.
access from
For
both
escrow,
ends.
it's possible. Yeah, thanks for that input. For escrow, that's definitely possible. But for the cross-chain transaction, in the end, once you put the money in, the other party doesn't know specifically that which wallet you're sending the funds to, right? But with the escrow service, they'll be able to get that information if if we create platform that way. We're trying to keep it anonymous between parties too when the transaction take place, but it'll be it'll be proven that there will be a proof that the transaction will be received by the party B and sent by the party A, without each other knowing their wallets. But yeah, like I even mentioned that with the salary thing, like they'll be able to know that they'll receive specific funds every week. So that's the point with the escrow service, totally possible.
Yeah, I get that point now about the salary. That's a really good idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Hey, I
any
do
more
have a
questions?
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just I know we always talk about this and all that. So my thing is with the what's it called, marketing.
Yeah.
Is it not worth marketing, say, for a couple of days, putting the Blockblend name out there, putting the utility out there, for thousands to see, rather than like slowly building it up? If we did some marketing, like for example, hypothetically now, would we'd have another, say, 10,000 people have eyes on the blender, on the swap, all that, So
Well,
would
I
it
mean, the
not
way
be worth?
marketing works, I like people. You're on BSc, right? Like, let's get real
Yeah,
here. If you think about this, most people want to see hype, and hype gets created by new stuff coming in. So if I just do the marketing around the cross-chain utility, which is amazing, people should come in and inspect it. But they need to come into community. They need to see, oh, new application will be amazing, blah blah blah, right? We need to kind of have that. I'm just talking about like marketing wise, just that would be the main idea, because otherwise you might not get a better result, right? That's the way I see it. I had talks with the marketers about that. They accepted it. They said that's definitely right. You definitely want to have something new to hype the utilities around that new thing. So yes, we have the cross chain, but imagine that utility being presented alongside with something new coming, right?
yeah,
Then people who never invested will be like, oh, something new coming as well. Oh, let me check this out. Maybe there'll be hype. Because they'll come in for the hype, stay for the utility. But the point that we need to bring them in, and they come in for the hype. So that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
what if you run a small marketing scheme or whatever
It
for,
doesn't work.
say, a day, for a day, and then like just say you run a week or two before you bring in a utility,
No, it
you've got
won't
an
work.
extra 1,000
As long
eyes on
as
the
you
front.
don't push a large amount of marketing at the same time, small
Yeah,
marketing you push, yeah, you gain like what, 15 investors, let's say, from a good call. Then what? 30 of them will sell because, oh, what happened? I bought at like whatever. I'm scared. No more volume, no more buys and sells. I should sell now. That's the only thing they're gonna think. But if you're having more volume, people will buy and sell. We need this kind of buy and sells happening, uh, like all the time, if you like, because most people coming for the hype will leave as soon as they see the buys and sells are slowing down, and they will never even look back. They will never even know the utility, nothing about the project. They will come in for just pure hype and leave the project afterwards. This is what I think small marketing delivers mostly. But when you do it in a bigger scale, with the right people,
Uh,
then it's better.
Um, would you mind if I commented on that a little bit?
Definitely.
So, and I'm an older person, so more of a traditionalist. But I will tell you that one of the things that I'd like you at least to consider is the fact that 70% or close of BBLs locked up in the farms. And if you get more investors and they're excited up front, they're going to get in, they're going to lock 70% of them are going to lock their tokens up in the farms. And then they're going to do that. If there's more people looking at BBL, you're going to get more people locking tokens up in the farms. So I'd like to challenge your strategy a little bit by saying, I think uh, a marketing strategy that entices people to come can really pay some benefits. And I just like you to consider that thought.
It's
Because with
just
that, you're going
the
to get more money from the utility usage, which leads to
yes,
more
that's
marketing in the future, more funds, more development funds, and you can get the show on the road a lot earlier, and you can always market for longer periods of time later on.
yes, but if we don't get the benefit of the small marketing, we wasted money. Do you see it? I think
Yeah, yeah.
well, this is well, so we it's like gambling almost, but with big marketing you can't miss almost because people will come for the hype, right?
And
Yeah.
you can also do like, I mean, like when I had my company, I knew exactly how many dollars I spent per dollar of revenue in marketing. You could, and with crypto it's even easier, how many investors you have and how much cost of marketing. And I'll bet you if you did a study and said, hey, I'm going to spend $30,000 or whatever that number is, I'm going to spend X dollars and get some hype. And that X dollars brought me Y new investors, and 70% of those Y new investors in the farms. You could do that in a very short time frame, which makes crypto actually very unique. Most big companies can't do this. So you can actually do a really great controlled study and see what it costs for you to gain a new investor. And I would encourage you to start thinking about some of this stuff. And again, I'm just an old man, and that's
Oh,
just my 2 cents.
of course.
But it's based upon owning a company for many, probably longer than most people here have been alive.
Yeah.
And
No, I appreciate your
I
input
can
for
tell
sure.
you that we always you should always be marketing. And if you ever don't, because here's what's going to happen, and this is true, somebody eventually is going to figure this out.
Which
Eventually,
happened.
you're not going to, the BBL type of solution or something close to it or something a little sexier, maybe not exact, but people are doing it right now. I promise you, really smart people are doing it. And they're not going to tell you they're doing it. And then one day it's just going to be here. And then you're going to be caught like, oh man, we should have really got our name out there, because just like Duo, not saying they were good, but they got a lot of attention. Somebody's going to be a Duo with real um, stuff behind them. And I just want you to consider that, because I'm a big investor. Trust me, I am.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I totally
I want you to,
understand.
right. I want you to be so successful, because it's good
Yes,
for
and
me. So I'm being a
yeah,
little bit
obviously.
selfish. I'm being a little bit selfish. So I just like you to
No.
consider that. Okay.
I totally get it 100%. Well, I mean, see, we are close to a new application launch anyway. I don't mind continue the marketing afterwards, but right now I don't personally see any point when we'll have an application really soon. Um, we're still doing AMAs. This is type of marketing, and we'll do another one probably next week. But in the end, to push the real marketing that we're talking about will cost probably around 40K or so. Uh, that's that's another level for me. Like that's the way that we bring more investors. This AMAs are really good for like couple investors coming in and beforehand maybe loading some bags and becoming that kind of investor that I like, who can actually give information when there's somebody else coming in. They know what the hell they invested for. But in the end, to gain more people, we need to go big with the utility. I would understand your point of view if we didn't have already a upcoming utility that we can hype around, right? So other than that, I do agree with your point for sure. Let's see
Yeah,
what
you've
happens.
also got to. I think what you've alluded to is, the mentality of people, especially in Binance Smart Chain, is, they expect a
Yes,
lot going on, a lot of development news, a lot of marketing. If you had one stale piece of marketing a week, for instance, just one little piece a week, it just wouldn't be enough.
definitely. 100%.
People want partnerships rolled out. They want to hear of, potential listings. They want to hear
Yes.
about, coverage across different influencers, etc. It's all like kind of, it all needs to happen at once. And then once it happens once, you need to then continue momentum. It's got to be continued continuously. But that initial push is very expensive. 40 grand is quite conservative, really, for marketing what is essentially a new launch. And getting people interested. Realistically, people spend more like 100,000 or more.
Yes.
So you have to spend a significant amount of money. And crypto is, you've got to get people's attention, and you've got to keep it. For the most part, you may get a significant part invested in, going into the pools, into the farming pools. They're the type of investors you want. But you're going to attract a lot of short-term investors, people that have different strategies, and they're not necessarily bad. They're all part of the system that's in place, and you need to maintain them. You need to maintain people that are trading off the chart, and also people that are going into the pools as well and believe in the vision. You're going to get maybe, I'd say, 30% of people, maybe even less, who are interested in a long-term vision initially, until you educate them, because the mentality of a lot of, especially Binance Smart Chain investors, is a short-term project. A project that is more than 2 months old, people perceive as quite old. It's almost at the end of the life in Binance Smart Chain, because many projects last a few days or even a few weeks. Before something happens to them. That's just the reality of it here. So educating people away from that idea of, and that behavior is key. And having regular AMAs, educating the community, showing how people operate, the discussions that happen in the community. It'd be a different atmosphere for many investors, and targeting the Chinese markets, it's going to be really important to have a community in place where there's a strong leader, where they are hosting regular AMAs. You have a translated white paper, a translated website and the app. All of this is going to need to be in place before you do the marketing, because if Chinese investors come to Blockblend, they can't read the website, they can't read the white paper, they don't know who to contact for information, because they don't speak English. The majority of them, they speak Mandarin. So, and even then, there's translation issues, to how you can understand people. So there is things that need to go in place before you even consider that marketing push. It can't just happen, and doing like an AMA in a Chinese community or a call channel, which is relatively cheap, will produce nothing, because the way that they invest is seeing it in multiple places. It's a process. They want to see it trending. They want to see an advert. They want to see multiple things. And when they see all that together, Chinese investors will go for it. And then the other thing they consider is many Chinese investors invest in groups. So they're going to want to, the leader will want to come and discuss with the leaders of Blockblend, probably in a personal way, in a group chat, not in the public chat. So the way they invest is very different. So there's going to be, a lot of learning to do, and also a lot of adapting to the actual product and the way that you're operating.
Yes, I'll definitely consider everything you said, and same as Steve here. Thank you for everybody. It's not me personally alone, of course, deciding things, but Roger is also here. We're gonna definitely consider everything, and we do want to be aware, if you like, that we need to push more marketing in a probably daily basis, and we need to have some good news for every week. Either it could be collaboration or another AMA with a bigger group or whatever it may be. We need to keep people, of course, showing that we are trying to push the idea, so they stay and be even more willing to work with us, if you like. So yeah, I do know the problem with that, and I'm looking to resolve it myself, and we're definitely going to take the ideas here seriously and look forward for the solutions with the team.
Awesome. I think I have to conclude there, because it's pretty late for me. But it was great to hear more about the project. and thank you for your patience, explaining everything. You've been really good today.
Thank you
So,
for inviting us and staying, even if it's late. Like, I really appreciate your time here. Thank you.
no problem. Yeah, and I'll come over to the community. I'm invested there. So, yeah, thank you for coming, everyone, and thanks for the comments and questions.
Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody. And absolutely, if you
day.
have more questions, you're welcome in our Telegram channel, all right? Or
Awesome.
Twitter, anywhere.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Take care.